So Eric, what are some of the other trends you're seeing in telco storage?
Great question. I think the key thing we're seeing is emphasis on environmentals and on overall infrastructure that's used in the telco space. We talked about the server and latency I/O gap, how we fix that, helping the servers be more efficient and allowing them to do, basically software networking instead of having to use hardware with generic hardware. But one of the side benefits of that is the ability to reduce power budgets, cooling budgets, rack budgets, and floor budgets. So let's take an example. We talked earlier about the telco who's billing an additional $140 million a year by switching to Violin all-flash arrays. But one of the side benefits of that is they were able to save 98% on the rack space that they needed to deploy the solution. Remember, we talked about how you short stroke a disk drive. When you don't do that, you shrink the physical rack space that's needed in associated floor space. They also took their power and cooling budget down because flash does not consume as much power as hard drives do. They took their power and cooling budget down by 96%. The other thing that allows us to do is by being able to shrink form factors, shrink power and cooling demands, shrink the budgets that are needed for power and cooling, both A, the physical power and cooling you need, but B, the money you're going to spend on that, allows us to move from core data center out to the edge. And flash is an ideal caching medium. We actually have some customers in the streaming video space that use us as a cache. You could do the same thing in the telco space in a very similar fashion. A, shrink the rack and stack, use it in the core, but also push it out to the edge, and then use that as a cache device, just as our customer in the streaming media space has done over the internet.